All right, so what's going on? Today I am going to talk to you a bit about AI routes and checkpoints and things. Turn my checkpoints on here too. Um, Looking over this track that I'm about done with, you can see the AI route here is pretty simple. Um, it was generated with the Bezier curve, like I've shown in a previous video. And you can see here that my track, like all the AI routes, are still connected to this Bezier curve, um, such that if I move or adjust the curve, it will move and adjust all these routes along with it. Um, so I'm going to show you how to disconnect the routes from the curve, how they should be set up properly, um, how to adjust width and stuff for places where it's telling you you're going off the road when you shouldn't be, and so on and so forth. This track is not the widest track, so you don't run into too many problems there. But yeah, then we'll jump in the game and I'll show you how to adjust the AI racing line and how to see where the checkpoints are actually showing up compared to where you've placed them in Blender. So in Blender you set them somewhere, and then in the game it connects them to the nearest, I think it's to the nearest um, sector line that your checkpoint is on. So you think it's here in the middle, and actually it's shifting it forward or backward a bit. So you can adjust your models in game to match that if you want, or maybe you don't care. So what is the proper way to set this stuff up here? I know it's a bit hard to see. Maybe let's turn off the mesh so we can just focus on the AI route here. So if you've generated your AI routes with the Bezier curve, as you can do using the bug menu here, AI routes generate from a curve. I think that's the easiest, nicest way to start. Eventually you want to disconnect it from the curve so you can edit the widths and stuff like this. It also may happen that as you add more models and things to your track, for whatever reason, you can't get these guys to line up properly anymore. And the game is telling you they're not working, and so on and so forth. So what do you do with these things to make them work if they stop working for you? The proper way to set up the seam is like so. So let's see, which one is which here? Your main route is your skinniest. Your safe route is your next widest, your medium. And your main route is what controls whether you go through checkpoints and stuff like that or not. So starting with the main route, the skinniest one, this one should be the longest out of all of them. So how do we deal with this thing? You go to the bug menu and you go to your AI routes and you apply modifiers and constraints. Clicking on that disconnects this thing from the curve and allows you to edit it now. So let's click on the main route. You can now hit tab. When it's connected to the curve, it'll just shoot off from some random place sideways when you hit tab. But now that it's not connected anymore, you can start to edit these pieces individually. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to stretch this out a bit. So get your scaler going here, and we're just going to resize it. That's not what I want to do. I want to, let's see. You can go to your vertices too. You can grab these. And I'm going to grab both of these guys and just move them over. Rather than resizing, I'm just going to pull this stuff over here. So let me see, grab. See, you can do this. I have snap on, hit control, pull it out a bit. And there you go. So you make it a little longer. Over here as well, I'm going to grab those two vertices. Hit grab, pull it out a little like so. And that should work for our purposes. Hit tab again. We're done with that. Next, you're going to want to mess with your next route. Hit tab. Grab the two edge vertices here. And we're going to stretch them out just a bit. Boom. So yeah, this is the configuration you want. I'll say more about it in just a sec. I'm going to do the same over here. Grab, I'm holding control, stretch it out. And the way these guys are supposed to be is the skinniest one, the main one, should be the longest, and they should kind of approximately line up like so. The next one is your safe one. That's the next widest. It should be the next longest after the main. And then finally your main root here should look like this. So it goes like skinniest is the longest, medium is the next longest, wide is the shortest, and they look approximately like that, and the game likes it. It'll take them and line them up. So if these things were working for you when you had the Bezier curve and you didn't have to adjust anything, doing this should still work. And if they weren't working, like if they stopped working for you but you didn't adjust things too much and then you do this, they should probably work. And there's not much more to that. So this is the proper way that the seam of the ribbon that you've made for your track should come together. All right, and since we applied modifiers and constraints and things to this guy, it's disconnected from the Bezier curve now, and it can't be reconnected. If you leave your Bezier curve alone, you can always regenerate a new AI route from that and start over again if you need to. But yeah, once you're here, you should be toward the end of your track making process. All right, so if I wanted to widen stuff up a bit, like I noticed that I'm coming off this jump right here, and turn my terrain back on. I'm coming off this jump right here, and when I land, I'm getting an error that, or maybe I'm coming around this corner or something, I want to cut this turn, and I'm getting an error that I'm coming out of the, like I'm going the wrong way on the track, which is just not true. I come in here, I pick my widest route, which is, which one? Your main route, and you just widen that up. If you're getting the wrong way sign in a place you want your cars to be able to drive, come to your main route, that's the widest one, hit tab, and just widen it up some more. So like, I don't know, maybe we'll select all these vertices here, grab them, stretch them out a bit, boom, just widened up the route. Maybe we want to make the going around the corner a little wider too. Can do that, just grab this stuff, and boom, I have snapping to the nearest face on, so all those little dots show up like so. All right, so we widen that section, and you go around and you widen sections as needed. So I don't know, maybe we want to widen these up slightly. Grab the vertices you want to move, press G, stretch them out as you like, and you can deform all of these three paths: the main, the race main, the route main, and the safe main. So yeah, you should go around, and then you go test the track and see how things are doing, if you need to move things around as well. See, my checkpoint here is quite wide. This guy is super wide, but the game only registers it within the route main thing. So if somebody comes around my checkpoint and tries to go through, or comes out of this, what am I saying? If somebody tries to go around this checkpoint flag, they won't be able to do it on this side because the route main is inside of the legs of this thing. So even though there's some checkpoint out there, the game doesn't register it unless you're on the main route. If you get off the main route, it starts telling you you're going the wrong way. And if you go through checkpoints, it doesn't register them. All right, so here's another place the Bezier curve for me came out a little wide over here to the left, and I'm usually driving more on the right in here. So like to widen that up. You can also just grab all this stuff and move it over, but I'm gonna hit tab here. You can just grab a bunch of this stuff and widen it up, stretch it over. That's totally fine to do. This is sort of off of a jump. And you just do this as needed. You do some testing in your track, adjust everything, and there you go. On some of the tracks that I have really huge wide checkpoints, I have to make sure that my main route is wide enough so that when you go through the checkpoint, anywhere you feel like it should work, it does work. All right, and I've learned that players really don't like being told they're going the wrong way. So these kind of edits are good. All right, so that's that. Easy. The next thing we want to do is let's save this puppy up. I am going to export it. It's BGL3. That'll make the scene file we need. I am going to, what am I looking for here? I am going to make sure in my salvage wasteland thing that the scene got generated. So after you make these edits in Blender and you generate your stuff, what time is it? 12:13. The scene file got made at 12:13 today. So it worked. There was no issue with the adjustments to these ribbons that we made here, like the lengthening and stuff that we did. So it should boot up in the game, and we will see if it works. Got Salvage Wasteland going down here. I still have to make all the graphics for it. Got my trophy runner. On my tracks, the better cars are ones that are heavy. So, since there's so many bumps and bounciness and stuff, heavy and strong. All right, so we're jumping in here. All right, load it up just right. One thing that can happen if you make adjustments to your AI routes, you can have your guys going in the wrong direction. To fix that, let's see. If you boot up your track after you've made adjustments to the AI routes and all your cars are starting from the wrong place, you select your AI routes and you go to bug menu, set custom properties, set other way true. Or if other way true is already set, you go to your bug menu, set custom properties, and you clear everything. But our guys booted up going in the right direction. We're happy. So we're in here. All right, we're in the game here. How do you get your AI routes and everything visible to you so you can pause the game like I've done? You hit the backslash. So just above the enter key is a backslash. For me in the US, hitting that brings up these two guys here in the upper left-hand corner. Track data is what we're after. We want to see the sectors in the game. So there's all the sectors now. And then I'll just let these guys drive into me, I guess. It's fine. All right, so we see all the sectors. And if we want to adjust the AI routes, turn that on. And then if you want to see where the checkpoints are ending up, you show your checkpoints. And you can go around and edit these kind of things as you go. You can't edit the checkpoint positions, but you can see where they're showing up. That one just registered. And so this one up in the left-hand corner turned green for me. This thing's green. As I go through it, it'll register. And the next one should turn green. So that's how you can see if your checkpoints are working or not. Driving around. All right. Boom. This checkpoint's farther back than I would expect it to be. All right, so how do you deal with this stuff? I like to go into photo mode with the free flying cam here, and I fly way up as high as I can. To fly around, you're using WASD. Shift, of course, speeds you up like normal, and you use your mouse to look around. All right, so let's see, where did we start? The starting point is kind of back here. You can see this blinking dot. Let's see, this blinking dot right here is on like the very first sector. To move the blinking dot around to adjust the race line, it's starting on the race line here, and this light blue line that goes around toward the middle is the AI race line. So you want to adjust that. You can move these things left and right with L. So clicking back in here. L will move it to the right. J will move it back to the left. K and I cycle you forward and backwards on the nodes. All right, so moving forward here, I had the zigzag in here once upon a time to slow my cars down as they came up to this curve. Since I've adjusted the AI line recently, it's in the wrong place now. So let's get this kink out of here and speed up the AI a bit. And then we'll see as we race if this is working for them or if they are crashing, and maybe we'll add a zigzag later. And that's how you tune your line. You fly around, you race with your AI a bit, you watch them on the replay, you see where they're messing up, and you can go around and adjust this line it's the optimal line that gets generated by the game that they're trying to drive on. Okay, so let's see, what's this? That's a funky bunch of junk. Let's see if we can clean that up some. I'm not sure how or when it got like that, but boom. I do know that I moved it over a bit because they were all slamming into the fence. So maybe that's why it was going out so wide. Keep going around here. Taking this turn kind of wide, which is funny. And you just cycle through these things and move them over as necessary. All right. I don't know why there's zigzagging here. Totally not optimal. So, yep, that's how you do it. And then to save your edits, you hit T. Be careful that you do that, because if you exit the level before you've saved your edits on the AI line, you lose what you did. So make sure you hit T to save it all up. The guys are supposed to go wide over here. They'll fly around this way. This checkpoint you can see, this checkpoint you can see is way in front of where my sign is. It's not a big deal. I could move my sign up or try and adjust this line to be where my sign is. You grab these two vertices inside a blender and move that line to where your checkpoint is. Yeah. Keep flying over. All this stuff looks pretty okay. I don't know why there's a zigzag here, but I'll leave it for now. I had put a zigzag over here because these guys all go flying into this bus back here if I don't slow them down. It's not quite in the right place anymore, but adjust that another time. There's a zigzag over here, I don't know why. So yeah, you have to hit I a million times until that little ball, or I might not even be in there. Ah, horrible. You can see it kind of come up in the left hand corner over there, and now there we go. Move it over. That should speed the guys up a bit, and you just cruise around like that. Okay, yeah, put tons of zigzags in here. I don't know what the deal is. Final things to say, if you notice that your checkpoints are not working and stuff, you can turn them on in this menu where you turn this stuff on, turn your sectors off, turn just the checkpoints on. You can see me back here. I was about to come around through this checkpoint. You can see it's green because I need to go through it. Once I go through it, this one will turn green. That's because all my checkpoints are working properly. As you have checkpoints in your game and you want to check them out, you turn them on and come in here and make sure that they're working right. Something I didn't know when I first started was that your very first checkpoint here needs to come after the start of your track. So your track starts, then your first checkpoint needs to be hit there somewhere. If you move the start section of your track, where the two ribbons come together, if you move it after this first checkpoint, then none of your checkpoints will work anymore. So you have to make sure that your first one is in the forward direction after your ribbon gets sewn together. My ribbon gets sewn together right here somewhere in Blender, so that guy's got to be after that starting point. And beyond that, that's how you troubleshoot. That's how you adjust the AI race line. Yeah, I hope this video is helpful, and I'll catch you on the next one.